Hello Virgo, and I have prayed over the Lenormands as well, so if we need clarifiers at some point, I will pull those out for everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We have situation 1 on the top, situation 2 on the bottom. Now, the first card that we have is the Emperor, and that is a major arcana. Put this up here close so that you guys can see that. On the bottom it says stability and efficiency, taking charge of a situation, and ambitious plans. And it is Archangel Uriel that is sitting there in a chair. And this is a card that talks about leadership, how, leadership is vital. It's important. Sometimes it talks about people becoming a leader, and leaders being very logical, very stable, providing protection, doing things with a very logical fashion. But with the Emperor card, we also have 5 of Gabriel. Now that card, if you can read the bottom of it, it says, a challenge you can resolve, withdraw from the drama of others, have patience with yourself and those around you. Now, typically with the Gabriel deck, that's a deck that talks about, creativity and passion, things that, empower us and enable us to meet our goals. Now, the thing that is interesting here, if you look at the 5 of Gabriel, this person is sitting there with a puzzle. She's trying to put this puzzle together, but not feeling as though, she has everything that she needs to solve it, to solve the puzzle, to figure it out. Because some of the pieces are missing. It doesn't have all the information. Sometimes this can talk about, we've got so many different situations going on at one time, so many things, pulling our attention in other directions, other areas. And drama from others. Not just situations, but people pulling us in other directions. And sometimes it's also our internal thoughts. So what they're saying is, typically I'd give you the entire meaning of the Emperor card, because the Emperor, he's sitting here, he's all proud and stable, sitting in his chair. Archangel Uriel is known to be, he's often referred to as the light of God. He's an angel who helps us with epiphanies and aha moments. You see out the end of his staff, he has a light illuminated, because he helps illuminate things. He helps bring things to our attention, bring us the truth, clears away the BS, so we know what's going on, to give us these revelations, these bits of information so that we can move forward. But when it comes to Emperor, Empress, the Emperor's very grounded, he's very stable, he can totally be relied on. He's there to protect others, to help them, to guide them. He's the leader. He likes structure. He likes things to be very logical, very well functioning, balanced. But sometimes if there's too much order, if there's too much structure, rigidity in place, and especially if we're doing it just because it's out of habit, maybe we put all these structures and these things in place because it's what we're accustomed to, it's our norm. It can be in, it can be in our love life, it can be in our home, it can be in our family, relationships. But if it's the norm and it's the rules, it's what we've always done. So maybe we've always behaved in a certain way with our relationship with someone, relationships with others. I get for some it's like this community. But what happens if we put so many rules and things in place, and this is what we've always done, and we can't step out of that? And what will people think if I do things differently? If I step out of this, what will they think? We just simply do it. We create this order, and it ends up being, it inhibits us. It keeps us stuck. It's not liberating. So what they're saying is, some of you, you're in this situation. For some, it's a relationship. So you have been the Emperor. You have been the one that she or he has come to, because Archangel Uriel's a man. So we'll play with what's in the cards, but you can replace it with whatever, because I know this is not only going to be applicable to men. It's going to be applicable to women as well. But Archangel Uriel is a man. So for some of you, you're the man. Your wife, your girlfriend has always looked to you for leadership, looked to you for support, for guidance. For some of you, it's family, but for some of you, it's also family. Some of you family tied to love. So for some of you, it's maybe your wife's family relies on you, or for some, it's very close friends, very close family. It's this community, but they all rely on you, and so it's become chaotic because you have this group of people wanting things, needing things, requiring things of you, but you're wanting to change that. You're wanting to shift things. You're wanting to come back into a place of harmony, a place of balance, but it feels chaotic, and you don't feel like you have all the information. So 5 is a number of change, of great change. So I'm getting that a number of you want to get out of the situation. You're tired of being the leader on the throne. You're tired of this person, because for some of you, this person, she's very manipulative and controlling. You're tired of that. But you're not speaking up for yourself and not freeing yourself because you feel as though you don't have what it takes. But this card is a card that speaks about you do have everything that you need. And at the bottom it says, a challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you. So for some, it's you're fearful of, okay, what happens if I leave her, leave him? Do I have the abilities, the capabilities, the financial means? Because for some, I get that this person has belittled you with false beliefs, false grounds. They've torn you down to keep you stuck. But the weird thing is that the dichotomy, the odd part of it is they look at you like the leader. So they make you feel as though you would be nothing without them, which keeps you stuck in this place of unhappiness, disarray, and for some heartbreak. They're pointing out her heart's illuminated, heartbreak. Because even though this person is tearing you down and making you feel as though you aren't worthy, you are not good enough, you would be nothing. They're saying for some of you, they make you feel as though you would be nothing without them. Or, you're the worst husband of the year or worst girlfriend of the year. Like, oh my gosh, no one's going to want you anyhow, so just stay here with me. But at the same time, they need you there. So for some of you, it's very interesting because this person plays off of you want to be like a knight in shining armor. You want to come in and rescue. You want to be the emperor. You want to be the person that brings in the structure and brings the assistance. So maybe they're not feeling well health-wise. Maybe they're going through some struggles. You want to be the knight on the white horse that comes in and saves them. So it's interesting because they tear you down to purposefully keep you stuck, keep you from stepping into your power because they're fearful of you leaving them because they do need you. They do need your assistance. But for some of you, the way they get your assistance is they feed off of your desire to help others. So they make you, although they tear you down, they at the same time make you feel like, oh my gosh, my health isn't doing well again. Or, oh, I'm struggling again. Woe is me. Please come in and save and rescue me. Or, oh, my finances are a shamble again. Well, because they're spending frivolously on things they shouldn't. But they play on your sensitivities. So you will come in and help them. But the angels are congratulating you because those of you in this situation, you have realized that you're being played. And for most of you, you have received a lot of epiphanies, aha moments. A lot of you most recently have been getting even more information to solidify your decision to make that change. 5 is a number of change. You have 5. 7 is a number of getting on your path, going where you are meant to go. And it's funny that 7 is harmony. You're meant to be in a harmonious place. You're meant to be in a harmonious relationship, be it romantic, be it with others, be it with family. But for most of you, this is love related. But you're there, you've arrived. You're ready to make that change. You have what you need to make that change. Be fearless. Because they're saying the only thing that's keeping those of you that are in this situation stuck is the fear. They're saying for most of you, the fear that this person has made you believe that you're unworthy, you're incompetent, you're incapable, but they've purposefully torn you down to keep you stuck. And for some of you, they're saying a small number of you, it's just like, okay, you want even more information. Like, okay, can you confirm one more time that he's a liar? Can you confirm for me one more time that he's a cheater? Or can you confirm for me one more time that she's using me? They've confirmed that for you umpteen times already. It's time for you to step into your strength and have the courage to move forward. Because the next card that you have is 50. It's Angel of Strength. It's got this angel. She has this lion in front of her. This speaks of your personal power, your inner strength, having the courage, stepping up to make these changes that it's time for you to make. This isn't a time to be passive. This isn't a time to be submissive. This is not a time to allow someone else to assert their control over you. This is a time for you to speak up for yourself. This is a time for you to speak your truth, to take action for you and what's best for you. Because you are capable of taking control of your life. You are capable of taking your life back. You are capable of taking your power back that this person has taken. Because I get for most of you, it's one person who has taken your power. For some, it could be a couple of people. Because I do get for some of you, there's a sense like there's multiple people. Like maybe you are, you've been romantically involved with this person that plays off your feelings and emotions and they purposefully keep you stuck. But at the same time, their family's relying on you. Or maybe you invested in some business venture of theirs. So now it's not just them feeding off of you, but it's others. And because of it, you're out of balance. And you want to make a change. You want to free yourself of that, but it is going to require you stepping into your power and you speaking up taking back your control. You have the strength, you have the power. It's just time for you to know that, for you to remember that, and to step forward, because that's what it's going to take to bring you back into a better place of harmony. And if you look at this card, it's number 7, and it's a beautiful card. You have butterflies, you've got blue butterflies and yellow butterfly. You've got a woman sitting there in a meditative pose. She's surrounded by this big aura of light. She has more butterflies there and flowers all around her. And water, see the water's serene and calm. It's not an emotionally turbulent place. It is possible for you to reach the place of harmony again. It's even possible to be in a place of harmony while you're going through the final stages of this change, of leaving this person, leaving this situation. Because harmony is something that we can reach within. Because they're saying for some of you, you've allowed this person to not only break your heart, but to break your spirit, your well-being, your happiness. You've allowed them to cause you to now be judgmental of yourself instead of embracing yourself with love and in a judgment-free state. And it's brought disharmony and discord to your whole life. But they're encouraging you to embrace harmony now, to start to love yourself again, to start to know that those external factors do not define who you are, to remember who you are, to remember how amazing you are, to find that peace, that calm, and the strength to be able to take those steps, have those conversations, and move forward. Now they're saying for some of you, this person has I don't want to say beat you down, but torn down your spirit so much that you've lost hope and faith in life and in others. Because they're saying for some of you, this relationship, so say, you know, your guy, you met this woman and it was a beautiful relationship, and then it went sour and downhill quickly. She kept you stuck by making you think you couldn't do any better, making you think you were not better. Also by playing off your sensitivities of, oh, woe is me, my health is not good, or oh, woe is me, I need your money, or I need you to help me financially. I mean, she doesn't come right out and say, I need your money. But I mean, it's, you know, when people manipulate you, they can play off their manipulations very, very well. And this was done. But as you start to see through it, you start to lose your faith and your hope in humanity and start to not love yourself. But this is also a time of transformation, not only of you separating yourself from the situation, from this person. For a small number, there's a handful of people tied to that person. So like for this group, maybe their family has looked up to you, or maybe this business that you invested in has looked up to you, and you're afraid of what's going to look like or what will happen when you separate yourself, because it's not coming from true, honest intentions. And when you do separate yourself, you are going to find happiness again. What they're saying is the transformation is not just external, separating from that, but it's also an internal transformation that's going to bring you back to a state of love. You see there's butterflies all around. Butterflies indicate transformation, but it's going to transform your heart. They're saying it's like you've lost your faith in humanity, because they're saying for some of you, you have assisted this person for so many years because you come from a warm, loving place in your heart. You've tried to be non-judgmental. You have tried to see past the wrongdoings that have occurred to you. You've tried to see the best in that person, but time and time again, you've been hurt. So it's so bad to the point where, although you know it's time for you to break free of them, you've lost your hope in humanity. But not all people are like that. There's actually more people like you than you realize. So right now is a time of transformation for you internally to love yourself unconditionally, in a non-judgmental way. Allow yourself to open up to others who are going to love you just as much and unconditionally and in a non-judgmental way. They're going to love you the same way that you love them. They're going to want to help from a genuine place. They can be trusted. They can be counted on. But right now you've just put this little shield around yourself because you're just terrified of, oh my gosh, I can't go through that crap again. I can't have my heart broken again. I can't stand having one more person lie to me and use me and deceive me. That the faith has been lost. They're trying to bring your faith back. For some of, okay, so they're saying most of you in this situation, they have already strategically aligned a team around you. So for some of you, you have a new potential love interest. For some of you, new potential business partners. For some of you, you actually needed some attorneys, some financial advisors to free you of this. They've surrounded you with the team of attorneys and helpers and financial advisors to free you from this mess. And for some of you, it's your family. Because they're saying for some of you, your family's been trying to get you away from this person for years. They've been telling you, no, he is not good for you. You've got to get away from them. But you have this whole family team, potential new love interest, all these people surrounding you to help you with this transformation that is going to totally transform your life for the better. You're just at the point that it's up to you at this point. Only you are going to have the courage to step away from it. Only you will have the courage to have that conversation. And it is at, they're saying it's at the breaking point where action has to be taken right now. You're there. Trust that. Because they're saying it's the path that you're meant to take on. It's the path to free yourself. Now, situation 2 begins with 10 of Michael. And 10s are good because it means the end of a cycle. I always like to see the end of a cycle, especially if it's not been doing us any good. So we have 10 of Michael. At the end it says the situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. And if you see her, she's taking her final bow. Now the thing to note, you know how Archangel Gabriel talks about things of passion and creativity and, you know, creating the life that we desire, going for those things, taking action. The suit of Michael is a suit that talks about communications, speaking up, speaking our truth, freeing ourselves from the illusions that we have of being trapped. And typically when we have an illusion of being trapped, it's a conversation, because this suit of Michael, it's card after card, is all about communications. If it's an illusion of us being trapped, it's because it's something in our mind. We're overthinking it, we're overanalyzing, we're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't free myself of this, or oh, this is never going to get better, or oh, well, I'm not going to do any better than this, so I just might as well keep putting up with it. But they're just thoughts. But we have to communicate the truth to ourselves and know that, okay, things can change. They can shift. And so for a number of you, you are nearing the end of a situation. It's been an ending that has been a long time coming. And for a number of you, you're excited about it. You see how she's just like very gladly, you know, at the end of a show, they come out and they just proudly and gladly take their bow. They are finished. They are finished with the show. For a number of you, you're excited about this ending, because you know that there are better things on the horizon, new opportunities for happiness. You know that the sadness is going to be gone, the blues. So for, you know, when we're going through something that's emotionally draining, you know, we'll just kind of get the blues, kind of get the depression, kind of get sadness, a broken heart. The blues are over. The blues are behind you. So you're now, you can allow yourself to feel a sense of relief, a sense of, oh, praise God, that's over. Thank you, God. Let me take my bow and gracefully walk off stage, because I am done. You're there. Your struggles are over. The worst is behind you now. But you have to let go of it. Because some of you, you're still holding on to the past. It's kind of like a codependency thing. So for some of you, this situation has been love-related. So maybe you're similar to the people in situation 1. Maybe you've been in this relationship with this person who's just treated you like dirt. And even though you're like, okay, thankfully, I'm finally done with that person. I am finally done with that person. But maybe for some of you, you haven't had that conversation with that person to really finally firmly put them in their place and say, look, I'm done. Seriously, stop bouncing back. Because what we find happen is when we go through Mercury retrogrades or some of these different planetary cycles, we'll have exes bounce back. And maybe because it was a life lesson that you still are kind of holding on to and not fully letting go of, because maybe that person was your comfy blanket. Maybe you've been with them for so many years and they were just the norm. But even though they lied to you, cheated, stole, broke your heart, they had you singing the blues for years, you just still kind of hold on to them and they bounce back. But instead of not just fully, firmly letting them go and moving on, you just kind of let them linger. So for some of you, you need to not let them linger anymore. You have got to have that conversation with them to say, look, no joke. We are done. I meant it when I said that we're finished and I don't want this anymore. I wish you the best. I hope you find that. I'm going to go find the best for me as well. But you're going to have to communicate that with them. And for some of you, you're going to have to communicate that with yourself, that it really is over, and you're going to have to let that go for good. Let them go for good. Because you cannot and you will not move forward until this chapter is completely closed. And the thing that's keeping it, they're saying for some of you, the thing that is keeping it from being closed is you not communicating. Not communicating with yourself, not communicating with them. You're going to have to do that in order to move forward. The next card that we have is Walking Away. It's card number 27. This is a card that talks about, letting things go, moving on, moving forward. You see she's walking through this gate into this misty, beautiful, it's kind of like cloudy, kind of like unknown, but she's got the butterfly there. She has the cherry blossoms. But she just needs to walk through that and let the gate close behind her. Walk into the unknown future. Because the future, for those of you that are in this situation, they keep bringing up, the future is really not known. You don't really know what's on the other side. But you know you're not happy back here. You've not been happy in the situation that you've been in. And they're saying for some of you, you've kind of like lingered in the entrance of the gateway for a long, long time. You haven't firmly stepped forward, slammed that thing shut and locked it. For most of you, they're saying that this is love related. You've got 2 people there. Heartbreak blues. Most of you, it's love related. It's been a long-term relationship. It could have been a marriage, could be a marriage, could have been a commitment with a partner, a long time in the making. And this ending has been a long time in the making. And for someone trying to make this as versatile and general as possible, maybe it's a career change. Maybe you've had a career change a long time in the making. Because the next card we have is tied to money. It is door to value. The number's 31. But this card typically talks about new beginnings with money, finances, career, income. You look, there's all this money flying in. And on the other side of the door, it's like this illuminated city. It's just gold. And you have coins flying and you've got flowers blooming on the other side. It speaks of abundance, tremendous abundance. You also have the light illuminating the top, but exciting new beginnings. An opening to endless possibilities, endless abundance, prosperity, unlimited wealth. And for some, it's unlimited wealth because it's blessed from above. Again, they're talking about this light that's at the top of the card. See how it's illuminated up there? You have to walk through the door. If you walk through this door, similar to walking through the gate, you're going to be walking into something that's blessed by God. It's blessed from above. This person, this situation that you've been in, for some of you, if it's a career that you're leaving, it's been destined for you to leave that situation. Because what you are moving toward is something that's blessed from the divine. It's blessed by God. Some of you have been fearful to leave this situation because you're fearful about money. You're worried about how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to financially provide for myself, provide for my family? So it's kept you stuck. But they've been trying to get you away from that person. And for some that it's a career change, a career transition, you've gotten a lot of signs, a lot of guidance. So for some of you, you've even like fallen into different training and courses that have prepared you for this future path that you're going to be on. Some starting your own business, some starting a new career, but you've been divinely guided. Now, for some of you, this is leaving a partner that is not meant for you as they're trying to guide you into a partner that is meant for you. Same thing. So for some of you, you actually know the person that they have lined up for you, that they have ready for you. So for some of you, you have this like divine love partner that they have ready for you because they're doing everything they can to have you free yourself of this situation and walk through. You notice both of these. She's walking through the gate. You have to walk through that door. You have to take those steps to transition, to move forward. And it's funny because the last card, you know, to move into the light, the last card is 32, moving towards the light. And if you boil 32 down, it's 5, which is another card speaking of change. Because in all areas of life, you know, life changes, it evolves. But for those of you in this situation, it's a pretty big change that they've been trying to have you do. Now, for most of you though, unlike people in situation 1 where it is time, literally no joke, for you to step away from this person, this situation, for those of you in situation 2, you've really already done it. So you've actually already made the decision of, okay, I'm done with him, I'm done with her. They keep hurting me. I'm finished, I'm done, or you know what, I'm done with that career, I'm ready to move on. But you've just been, so the hard work, they're congratulating, commending you, because the hard work's been done. You've done that. You are at the end of that chapter. You're finished, you're ready to slam that book closed, but you're going to have to slam the book closed. You've done the work. But it's time to close that book. Step through those doorways. Step over that bridge. This is a tremendous time of transformation for you. And then this bridge is the final part to step over and finish that transition. Because for a number of you, you have felt stuck for a long time. For some of you, you have felt like things are just progressing so slowly. Oh my gosh, am I ever going to get to the light at the end of the tunnel? I see it from a distance. I see it. I know that it's there. I know that there's hope. I can tell that they've been guiding me in this direction. They've been guiding me this career. They've been guiding me to this person. I can tell. But oh my gosh, it's taken forever. You finally have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, but you are going to have to step over that bridge. So any resistance that you've been holding on to, so for some of you, you know, maybe you're still holding on to anger toward this person, or anger to how it went down, or anger and how the situation transformed and changed. You're going to have to let that go. You see, we've got water here. You're going to have to, water typically talks about emotions. You're going to have to let those emotions go. You're going to have to let that anger go. You're going to have to let those things of the past, you have to let the past go. The past hurts. The past angers, the past disappointment, the past frustration, and know that God simply has been taking you this way to bring you to something better. But let it go and walk over the bridge of transformation because you're there. You've arrived. Just slam the door shut, walk through, and walk over the bridge. Because they are saying that you have done the work. The hard work of, letting these things go, and, the heartache of everything that's entailed with that. So let's see here. I think they're pretty clear cut, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a couple clarifiers on these two cards for situation one, just see if there's anything that they want to hone in on or anything that we've forgotten, and the 10 of Michael. Now, the first card we have is the flowers. It's number 9, and this, the flowers talk about a gift, something that warms your heart, something that's, beautiful. In the past, flowers were a way that we would communicate our love. It's a way that we would communicate passion and joy and appreciation. We would do it with flowers. They're valuable. They're something that's valuable that we give to someone who we love. Please, right here for now, then we'll pick them up as we move on. Next card we have is the bear. And the bear, this talks about, an authoritative figure, someone that's a protective person. It could be an overly protective mother. It could be someone who's just using their sheer strength, their sheer willpower against someone, using brute force, aggressive. They're saying very aggressive, unkind. They're giving me images of like a bear just batting at someone and just hitting them aggressively. To keep them stuck. Okay, we'll come back to that. Last card that we have is 32. It's the moon. And this is a card, it can be talking about intuition. Sometimes this can talk about, love, romance. Oftentimes this is really, really talking about our psychic abilities. Intuition that opens up, because the moons are typically, like we just had a new moon, they typically will open up intuitive thoughts, intuitive aha moments, epiphanies. They help us do some reflection, some inner work. You see here the moon's actually looking in this glass. It's like getting the clarity that's needed. So for some of you that are in situation one, you've had this person who in the past you loved dearly. You gave them your heart. It was a gift of love. You felt appreciated. You felt loved. You felt as though this was, for some of you, you felt that this was the love of a lifetime. You gave your all to this person. They did initially appreciate it, but then things shifted and they changed. And you've gotten to the point where this person tries to control you. They use a lot of force. They're very aggressive. They like to keep you stuck. Look here, the bear has his hand cupped. They like to hold you down, keep you stuck where you're at. For some of you, they like to keep you out in the cold, so they purposefully don't share information with you. So for some of you, they have cheated on you. They have gone out of the relationship. They keep choosing someone instead of you. For some of you, they're emotionally cold toward you. They don't open up. They don't share their emotions. They become very cold. And for some, they've left you out in the cold as far as like purposefully keeping information from you, deceiving you, so also making financial decisions secretly from you. But then they're very, very aggressive in the way that they roll the roost. But the new moon that we just had is giving you the epiphanies and the ahas that you need in order to move forward and free yourself of this. Because they're saying for those of you in this situation, it's just additional clarity. You already know what this person's like, but for those of you who know how they were saying earlier that some of you just need another sign, another push in that direction. And for some of you, you're going to be having epiphany ahas on how to free yourself of them. Like, okay, I'm really ready. I'm ready to free myself. I know I don't have the puzzle pieces of what the future holds. I know I don't know all the details yet, but I know I have a team surrounding me. I know I have my family. I know I have some really good attorneys and some great financial advisors. I know I have a new potential love there. I have all these things. I know I have the angels surrounding me and helping me. I know I'm going to get to this beautiful place of love. And even though I don't know all the steps, I'm going to start taking those, because they'll give you some of the action steps right now. Because it's always best for them to give us little nuggets anyhow, because if they gave us like all of the steps what we need to take initially, it would probably terrify us. I mean, I know if with all the changes and things that I personally have been going through the past couple of years, if they would have laid out everything that would have been going on in my life and all the changes that I would have been doing, I would have been terrified. I would have thought, oh, I can't do that. That's bigger than me. There's no way. But they give us nuggets. They give us things that are manageable. So they are going to be giving you some manageable action steps. Step into your strength, step into your power, and do it. That's interesting, because the 3 cards we have for clarification on 10 of Michael, Typically, you wouldn't see deceit with a ring. So let me first start off with explaining what these are individually, and then we'll bring them all together. Well, they're going to bring them all together for us. So the first card we have is the Snake. This is a card that talks about betrayal, someone betraying your trust, someone that you believed in, you had faith in, deceiving you, lying to you. And it's typically talking about a relationship, a romantic relationship. You know, like Adam and Eve in the garden. And then the next card we have is, which does seem to be in alignment with the Snake, it's the Letter. And this talks about, you know, a message, usually a written message. It can be a message that comes in, you know, today's day and age. It can be an email, a letter, a card, information, but it's the truth. It's getting the truth of the matter, getting some intimate communication. And then the last card that we have is the Ring. Let's see if you guys can see that without some glare. And the Ring, this talks about, you know, commitment, never-ending, unconditional love, a union, eternal devotion, eternal love, eternal commitment. You know, rings are a symbol of commitment. When you give them to someone in a marriage ceremony, it's a circle. There's no ending, there's no beginning. It's eternal. See, if you would read this, so Lenormands play off of each other. If you would read these, you would think that they're reading that, okay, someone that you love deceived you and lied to you, but you're getting communications that what you thought was a deceit was not deceit, wasn't what you perceived, what you thought it was, and that's going to lead to commitment. But they're talking about walking away from this person. So for those of you in this situation, by walking away from the person who deceived you, it's going to lead to an eternal commitment with someone new. You know, they were talking about earlier the blues, singing the blues, how your heart has been broken, but you've stayed stuck and held on to the past with this person for some fear of money, financial worries, financial woes, but you stayed stuck in the state of unhappiness, stuck in the state of blues, fearful that you're not going to find love again. But you are going to find love. You're actually going to find a deeper, truer love, a requited love. Because they're saying for many of you in this situation, this person that you're having to leave behind has not loved you in a very long time. They have not been honest nor forthright with you for many of you in years. But you are going to find someone that feels the same for you as you do for them. They're going to be honest with you. They're going to be faithful. They're going to be loyal. You can count on them. They keep saying this. They're pointing out the light, the light, the light. They're saying it's going to be a love that's brighter and better than you could imagine. But you have to take the steps through the door. Okay. So I was asking them to give me a little more information on the deceit. What's this deception that this person did? Just to confirm that we were going down the right path. And we were, which is good. Because you know how I was saying initially you would look at this and you would think, okay, so someone did something that, you know, deceived you, they lied to you, they hurt you. Now you found out that things weren't what they appeared to be, and that could, you know, lead to love. But that is not what they're saying. They're saying that, no, this is the person lied to you, deceived you. There's some communications. Actually, they're saying that, you know how they were talking about you need to communicate with that person? You need to communicate, end it with that person. For some of you, it's the communicating with yourself, but you have got to communicate, end that, finally let that person go to get to this eternal love. That is what they're talking about. But to make sure I'm not leading you guys astray, I was asking, you know, can you give us some more clarification on what was this deception about? What did they do? You know, what really happened? What went down with that? And so the first card we have is Mice. And this talks about something of value of yours that was like stolen, that was taken from you. And then we have the Lady. And this talks about, you know, a lady love, your love interest. And then we have the Messenger. So, the deception was a woman that you were involved with. And we'll go with what's on the card. But you can replace that with whatever situation you were in. But you were in a relationship with this woman. And she was focused on someone else. And you placed great value on her in this relationship that you had with her. But they're saying for most of you, she cheated on you. You feel like what you had with her was stolen. So for some of you, someone else stole her heart because she's focused elsewhere. So for some of you, she was cheating. She was in a relationship with someone else. She wasn't committed to you. For some of you, if you feel as though she stole your finances, but the deception was you got communication about that. So for some of you where she was cheating, you got communications and found out that there was someone else. For those of you that she was using you for financial means, maybe she was using finances for things that you were not aware of. Or maybe just you found out that the main reason she kept communicating and pulling you back in was for your finances, for your money. But you got messages and communication about that, and that's what the deceit was. So that's how she deceived you. You got communications and information about it. You found out that that was a lot of deceit lying. It's now time to communicate with yourself, to communicate with her. So for those of you, her, him. So for those of you that are just lingering the door, you're going to need to finally close that door with her or him. Have that communication with them to let them know that. Like they said, some of you need to have the communication with yourself. For some of you, they're saying you got to have communications with someone else, the others. But it's all hinged communication. Once you have that communication, it is going to lead to the love of a lifetime. Something that is unconditional, someone that can be counted on, so that you don't have to worry about those things that you value, that you treasure, where your heart lies being stolen again. They're saying eternal. It's watched over the heavens. Again, they're pointing out the light to me 3 times. 3, Trinity. Okay. So hopefully that helps everyone. I do wish you all the best, filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings.